In a colorful junkyard world, a brave red superhero bear spots a distant glowing giant honey barrel. His tummy rumbles, his eyes sparkle with wonder. He decides to beat every obstacle to taste that honey. At the first challenge, he steps onto a metal platform, staring at 3 noisy conveyor belts full of rattling cans. He hesitates, watching cans rattle past his paws, unsure how to cross without slipping or being swept away. He opens his little notebook, sketches the belts and safety plates, counting their spacing until a safe pattern appears. Heart pounding, he hops from steel plate to steel plate in perfect rhythm, letting the cans slide harmlessly below. One last long leap, a can zips under his heel, but he lands safely and laughs with proud relief. As we glide above, we see the next challenge, a floating bridge of colored barrels over a deep, springy pit. The bear steps to the barrel bridge's edge, staring down at soft springs and cushions far below the colorful drums. Curious, he taps a red barrel. It wobbles and buzzes angrily, warning him that some colors are clearly not safe. He notices a sign with a smiling bee sitting on a yellow barrel, and realizes yellow must be the safe path. Carefully, he hops from yellow barrel to yellow barrel, ignoring the tempting red, blue, and green ones beside him. A shortcut of non-yellow barrels looks easier, but he trusts his clue, stretches farther, and sticks to yellow only. He lands on the far platform, the bridge behind him, as metal pillars ahead rise into a corridor of giant presses. From above, we see a long hallway of towering presses slamming up and down, forming a dangerous-looking rhythmic metal gauntlet. At the entrance, the bear gulps, watching huge metal plates slam near each other, leaving only brief gaps of safety. He steps forward, then back again, ears drooping, overwhelmed by the pounding rhythm and tight spaces of the press corridor. Closing his eyes, he taps his paw to the press's beat, quietly counting 1, 2, 1, 2, to learn their timing. When the cycle feels right, he charges in, slipping through the first gap just as the presses rise and fall again. He dashes from safe pocket to safe pocket, body low, cape fluttering, always arriving just before each plate slams shut. At the end, he jumps and rings the metal bell triumphantly. The presses stop, revealing a colorful maze of containers beyond. From high above, we see a maze built from red, blue, and yellow shipping containers, with one clear entrance and exit. The bear approaches the maze gate, studying the big map board that shows twisting paths and one bright yellow route through. The lines and turns look confusing. He frowns, tracing the route with his paw, then losing it halfway and sighing. He redraws the map in his notebook, simplifying the journey into a few key left and right turns he can remember. With his simple sketch in mind, he walks into the maze confidently, turning exactly where his drawing told him to turn. Attempting bright openings
forward,
that feel wrong,
then left passage,
he stops,
and then the
closes
right
his
turn.
eyes,
I've
recalls
got
the
this.
yellow path, and chooses the quieter corridor. He steps out through the exit sign, proud and smiling, only to find a wide junk river bubbling between him and safety. Our view flies along the chocolate-brown junk river, past floating scrap and a tidy stack of planks, barrels, and ropes. At the riverbank, the bear peers into the thick, sludgy water, realizing he cannot swim or jump across this gap. He imagines slipping into the sludge and shaking his head. Jumping on floating junk looks wobbly and far too risky. Looking at the wooden planks, empty barrels, and ropes, he smiles, understanding these pieces were placed here to build something. He rolls barrels under the planks, ties them tightly with rope, and carefully crafts a sturdy little raft for himself. With one paw as a paddle, he pushes off, wobbling at first, then slowly gliding across the squishy junk river. The raft bumps the far bank. He scrambles off, laughs with relief, and spots a forest of hanging tires ahead. From above, we drift through rows of swinging red tires, dangling from sturdy ropes, forming a crowded tunnel the bear must cross. At the tire forest's entrance, he steps in cautiously, immediately getting a soft bump on the nose from a swinging tire. Tires sway unpredictably, brushing his cape and sides. He yelps playfully, unsure where to step without being nudged again. He stops, watches how each tire moves, then gently pushes a few to create a new, smoother swinging pattern. Timing his steps with the swinging tires, he weaves between them like a dancer, twisting, ducking, and pushing them aside. A final wild tire swings toward him. He drops low and slips under it, bursting out of the tire forest laughing. Beyond the tires, he finds a tall wall filled with glowing colored lights, arranged neatly in a grid, blinking mysteriously. Our view floats back, revealing the full memory wall, 12 round light discs in rows, ready to play a color game. Standing before the wall, the bear watches as lights flash in a short sequence, leaving him blinking and slightly overwhelmed. Red, blue, green, he whispers, pointing to each glowing disc in the air, trying to replay the pattern in his mind. He steps onto the ground pad, taps each matching light in order, and beams when the wall chimes a happy confirmation. The next sequence grows longer and trickier. He stays calm, tapping his paw rhythm, repeating the colors softly to memorize. When he finishes the longest sequence perfectly, the entire wall lights up joyfully and slides aside, revealing drifting steam pipes ahead. From a high angle, we see tall gray pipes arranged in staggered rows, puffing soft white steam clouds across the dusty path. Entering the steam field, the bear squints as puffs of mist briefly hide the openings between pipes and the path forward. He waits, watching how each steam burst appears and fades, noticing tiny moments where the air becomes clear and safe. When a gap opens, he dashes into it, pausing in each safe pocket, letting the next steam burst pass harmlessly by. His movements become a careful dance. Wait, run, stop, breathe each step, matching the rhythm of the rising and fading steam. A final big puff erupts ahead. He counts silently, then charges through right as the cloud thins, emerging on the other side. Leaving the mist behind, he sees a gigantic balance scale made of scrap metal, with platforms and piles of junk on each side. From above, the scale looks like a giant seesaw with two platforms, one low and heavy, the other high and empty. The narrator gently explains, one side is weighed down by more scrap. The bear must balance both sides using his brain. The bear walks around the scale, examining gears, blocks, and pipes, confused why one side is sunk deep into the dirt. He counts every gear and block near each platform, comparing them, realizing one side clearly holds more heavy junk than the other. Testing his idea, he moves a large gear from the heavier side to the lighter side and watches the beam tilt slightly. With a thoughtful grin, he shifts one more block in a pipe, adjusting until both platforms hover almost perfectly level. When he places the final gear, the beam locks into balance. The bear's platform rises smoothly, lifting him toward a tall spiral tower. Our camera orbits the spiral scrap tower, following the winding ramp around stacked containers, up toward the glowing honey barrel above. At the base of the tower, the bear looks up at the long spiral ramp, knowing this is his final and tallest challenge. He begins climbing, paws steady on the patchwork ramp, breathing strongly, never taking his eyes off the distant shining honey. Halfway up, he pauses, feeling tired and small, but one glance at the glowing barrel fills him with renewed courage. Higher and higher he climbs, the world below getting smaller, until he reaches the final top platform facing the honey barrel. He carefully crosses the last narrow wooden planks between the tower and the honey, each step controlled, cape fluttering gently behind him. Standing before the giant barrel, he gasps at the golden glow, eyes wide with joy, finally face to face with his reward. He dips a paw into the warm honey, tastes it, and smiles proudly, knowing he used brains and bravery to get here. The camera pulls back to reveal the whole junkyard, now quiet and peaceful, with every conquered obstacle resting behind the heroic bear. Over the shining scene, we invite every child watching. Face your own challenges bravely, think smart, and never give up.